Hello YouTubers out there, this is Jerry at the Movies, and today I'm going to have just a little bit of a rant, so it's going to last hopefully no more than 3 minutes. And that is about the following. Now, as some of you know, film fans out there, Eli Wallach, who's appeared in everything from the Bad and the Ugly to, oh god, I mean there are just so many films, The Magnificent Seven, Baby Doll, Um, most recently, I guess, The Holiday from 2006 and Oliver Stone's Wall Street Money Never Sleeps. He passed away today at the age of 98. So he's definitely something of a legend in the echelon of movie actors and theater as well. And my rant is this. I find it increasingly odd that there are young people today, maybe even some younger than me, I'm 43 years old now, who have no idea who's Eli Wallach. That is just amazing to me. I mean, I can't even put that into words. I mean, how is that even possible? A few years ago, when Billy Crystal hosted the Academy Awards, and he had been host several times in the past, and I'm always a big fan of his, and especially the Academy Awards. I thought he did such a beautiful job with that show. He's a song and dance man, and he handled it beautifully. There were also young people on Twitter and Facebook who said, "Who's Billy Crystal?" I mean, how? What world do we live in? I don't understand. I mean, I can understand if maybe you don't know who Clara Bow is from back in the silent film days, or, gee, but you might know who Charlie Chaplin is. You know what I mean? So if you know Charles Chaplin and you know Boris Karloff and Bela Lugosi and Dustin Hoffman and Clint Eastwood, now we're really going forward, but even these guys don't seem to get much respect nowadays. People say, who are they? I never heard of them. Related to Justin Bieber? Are they friends of Justin Bieber? Wait, are they from One Direction? I mean, it's insane. I just don't understand that. Eli Wallach, Billy Crystal, Gregory Peck. I mean, let me put this in perspective. When I was growing up in the late 70s, early 80s, when I was really becoming more aware of films and television shows, I mean, even then, we would see on television the Universal Monster horror flicks, some of my favorite horror films from way back when, with Boris Karloff and Bela Lugosi, The Creature from the Black Lagoon, let's say, for sci-fi for 1950s, The Day the Earth Stood Still. These films were seen. We watched them. We became aware of them because there was an avenue of transporting these movies into your living room. There was also VHS at one time. That was a thing, video cassettes, so you could rent some of these movies. The problem, I think, today is that unless they, because you don't even have Blockbuster video anymore, there's no place to rent except for a Redbox. And Redbox is fine for new releases, but not for old. And Netflix, in fact, which is that streaming video service, which I'm not privy to, they're not making available some of the older films. I mean, people today, when they say old films like Pulp Fiction, oh, that's old. That was 20 years ago. Yeah, I know, 20 years. It's not that old to me, that film. An old film is maybe The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, because, of course, that came out before I was born. But there's no place for people to watch these films, and so unless they have cable and they watch films on TCM, older films on TCM or whatever, they don't know. They're not aware. You gotta become a little bit more aware. Eli Wallach is a legend. You should know his work. Clint Eastwood is still working today as a director, but you should be aware of his work from way back when, including The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, and the Fistful of Dollars trilogy. I'll give you another example. This young kid who I know, who's in his early 20s, claimed to be a huge Quentin Tarantino fan. Fine. He said he was gonna, I think it was around the time Django Unchained came out, and he said, I can't wait to see Django Unchained. You know, it sounds like a classic Quentin Tarantino type movie. So I asked him, I said, well, do you, how far back, I mean, so you really liked Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction? Oh, I never saw those. I mean, I think it started with Kill Bill, which, you know, fine, but he's done some films before that that made Tarantino a household name. So if these films are not readily available for them to see, it's like they never existed, and that's the problem. So we need to educate these young people. I mean, I knew who Boris Karloff was, and Bela Lugosi, and John Wayne. I mean, all these people. So what is going on out there? I mean, I know that people talk about America as being a dumbed down type of nation, too many dumb, stupid people. It just sounds like it's more about a sense of naivete, but not acclimating yourself to the legends of the past. I mean, if you love movies, you really should see these older films. You know, just because they come from another century doesn't mean, you know, film is still technically in its infancy. If you really think about it, film has only existed for a little over a century now. So, to be fair, I guess almost 120 years. In fact, next year will be the 120th anniversary of the birth of film. But it hasn't been around for ages. It's not like painting or sculpture or anything like that. It hasn't been around that long yet. And nowadays, too, and it's unfortunate, we're abandoning photography, which has existed maybe a little bit longer than films, certainly, but not long enough. And now everybody just takes a picture with a cell phone or an iPhone, but not a still camera, not using real film. This is a problem. So anyway, that's a whole other topic of discussion because everything's going digital nowadays. So the fact that everything goes digital makes it even more curious why these films just don't resonate with younger people. I don't understand. This is film history, folks, and you should become aware of it if you are a movie fan. I mean, if you love action movies of today, you should definitely be checking out the stuff Steve McQueen did. Even going further back to Buster Keaton, he did some amazing stuff, and he did his own stunts. You know what I mean? Anyway, rest in peace on Eli Wallach. But the rest of you, please follow up. I mean, cinema, you know, come on. You really got to check out the giants, the legends. They're called legends for a reason. They'll be around forever. That's all I got to say about my rant. It lasted 8 minutes. This is Jerry the Movies with your host, Jerry Saravia, signing off.